Hey guys, how's it going? The hot weather has officially hit us, and so I'm trying to get out early and do some projects. It's not working. I'm not getting out here as early as I would like, but that's okay. We're just gonna go slow on projects. That's all we're doing. We're going at a much slower pace. So there might just be a little less videos, or they might just be shorter because I don't do good in the heat, as you guys know. And so we're just gonna see what happens. So let me show you guys a couple things that are happening around the property. One thing that we've been working on for the last 3 or 4 days now is the fence. Not we, Brent has been working on. That has been his project. And you guys, he's working too hard in the heat. I keep trying to tell him to like slow down, like take a minute. It's okay. It doesn't have to happen in like a day. It can happen over the course of a couple weeks. We're not in some crazy rush, but because of who he is as a person, he thinks it needs to happen in a matter of like a day, and that's just not how it works. So I want to show you guys that, and then talk about what we're going to do today, which is talking about the wrong plant for the wrong place in your garden. So let me turn the camera around and show you guys the fence and where that's at. And as a reminder, that is not my rooster. So this is what my handy husband is doing. Look at him with a little sun hat. He's so cute. We're working on getting the rest of the fence done. We are not painting these boards until they get up, just because when we put the tarp down last time, it really like made the lawn struggle really hard. And so this area is really easy to access to be painted, where like all of this area was not super easy to access. So we're gonna put that up and we're gonna spray it and call it good. He's over there working hard. We have a giant pile. Our goal is to get right past that Vitex. I think he's gonna do one more. I keep saying we like I'm doing any of this. I haven't done a single thing. The goal is to do one more 4x4 in the ground. And so it'll be another 8-foot section over there, I think right about where he's at. So while I film this video, you're gonna hear like hammering, and you're gonna hear saws, and you're gonna hear the nail gun, and it just is what it is, okay? But it is so nice to see this progress and see the new fence. I mean, look at the way that the lemon cypress just glows on that. It is so gorgeous. I am noticing a little bit of issue with some of the plants since we cut this all back. This is getting a little too much sun, and some things are not the happiest. The rose down there, super happy. The hop seed bush, super happy. But there's a hydrangea over there and some anemones, and there are some astilbe that are not loving that. So I'm hoping that they rebound. It's just I cut it back and now we're in the 90s, so some issues. But it is coming along so nicely, and he is working so hard to get that all done. I just set the umbrella up for him because I was like, you are so hot, it's struggling out here. The tools are cooking. So I did my part and I set up the umbrella for him, you know, because I'm a good person. Can I have it? We're by the aviary. Freya is here. She never lays right here, so I don't know what she's doing. These are the plants that we're gonna move though. I've got these 2 lilies. They are pretty when they're blooming, and they're not doing whatever this is doing. And you can see, look at this bloom. It's huge, it's gorgeous, it's really pretty. It's just, it can't handle the full sun here and the very little water that we get. So it's gotta move. They're 2 different sizes. I honestly don't know where else I want them to go. So I'm just gonna pull them. And I know it makes people mad, but they are just they're gonna get gone. They gotta get out of here. I would rather find some type of topiary or something that matches that I can get on both sides of these. I don't exactly know what I want to go in with, but I think some type of topiary would be really pretty, or something else. I don't know. I don't have anything to replace them with today, but they need to get pulled. This is driving me absolutely mad. They're starting to get sunburnt now that we're in the 90s. I mean, look at this. That is all sunburn right there. So they're just not happy. They're really happy very early in the spring, and then 90-degree day hits and they're not happy. So it's just time for them to go. It's unfortunate because they're really pretty. They just can't handle this. So they have to go. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. And then we're going to plant something that is made for the shade that I will plant in the shade today also. So these got planted when I really had no clue what I was doing in the garden. I didn't fully understand the concept of shade plants and like sun-loving plants. And this said partial sun. I think it's like sun to partial sun, but in California, zone 9, that's not the case. And now that I understand my zone a little bit better, a lot better, I know that these can't handle that. And I had seen them at the coast in Fort Bragg, and they were in full sun out there, and they were doing totally fine, but they don't work here in full sun. So these need to be like water and shade, in my area at least. So they gotta get pulled. It is unfortunate, and I'm not putting them anywhere else on the property because they look really rough, and I don't want to transplant that. I will buy new ones should I want to put them somewhere else. So let's get these pulled out. Okay, so we're up front now, and I'm gonna grab the plants that I want to get planted. I have 3 of these right here. Ignore that. 3 of these lungworts right here. Obviously, I'm really good at taking care of plants and fertilizing them. These are the Trevi lungworts, and I'm really excited to get these planted. I love lungwort. I've always wanted to grow it. I've never grown it in my garden, so I'm really excited to give it a grow. You're gonna ignore the train. This one is done blooming, so I think I'm gonna come in and cut the bloom spikes off just because they're starting to like die a little bit. You can see right there. And so just so I get that beautiful foliar growth and color, I'm really excited about this. I don't know a whole lot about lungwort, but what I have heard is that the white spots that are on them are actually full of air. As the train is passing, I looked it up. So those silvery pockets that you see, or those spots that you see on the leaves right here, they are full of air, and it helps keep the plant cool and help it not burn, which is really, really exciting. I heard that it does that. I just wasn't 100% certain. So I think that that is really interesting. And I guess that's where it gets its name lungwort from. And these ones, it did have blooms. You can see the blooms are definitely faded on them. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna clean those up before I plant them, so we'll do that in a second. But the blooms on them, when I bought them, they were just like finishing, and they were so pretty. They were this like cobalt blue color, and some of them were like a really pretty like pink color. It was kind of like a mix of both colors. And so I think the show that you get very early in the spring is going to be so amazing from these. I've got 3 of them. They were 16 bucks a piece. I picked these up at High Hand Nursery. I'm so glad that I picked them up. This is a plant that I've been wanting to try for a couple years, just never found any. And I think when I did see them, it was like the end of the season, and so they didn't like look the best because they were starting to go dormant. So I am really excited to get these planted. These are going to go over by the fountain, and I think it'll be a really like interesting like texture, and I think that in the springtime it'll be really pretty. So let's get these cleaned up because there's some like spent bloom spikes on these, which I don't know if that's something that I'll do every year. I don't think I'm going to, but I think it'll be really, really pretty over there, especially now that I cleaned that fountain out. And did you notice this rose behind me? This is the Nitty Gritty White. Isn't that so pretty? Look at her. It's got these little clusters of blooms. I need to get this one planted here very soon. I was actually waiting for it to start blooming so I could show you guys on camera. But 3 feet tall, 4 feet wide, zones 4 through 9. And lots of blooms, especially like each one of these. This is a single stem, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blooms on that one stem right there, and it just continues on. Isn't that so gorgeous? Little clusters of white blooms. And what is really nice is what I'm noticing is that this rose doesn't hold on to its blooms, so right when they start to fade, you can see it lets go of them, so you don't get those brown like crispy blooms like I was getting on the butterfly bush that I had up front. So this is really exciting. I'm really happy to have a white rose because I love the color white. I gotta figure out where it's gonna go though, but I was waiting for it to be in full bloom for me to show you guys that. I forgot my tripod, so you're just gonna have to sit right there. I'm gonna clean these up really quickly. That looks, oh, what's that? There we go. That looks better. Look, let me get the other 2 done really quickly. These look so much better now. Let's go get them planted. Those look so good right there. Oh man, this area is starting to really fill in. I love it. Lots of green over here, a little bit of bloom spikes early in the spring. Those heuchera back there, I think they're called like the marmalade or something like that. I'm gonna pop the name up on the screen. That's also one from Monrovia. I have loved that chartreuse green. I don't remember who this hosta is. If you guys know who she is, please tell me because she is stunning. And then we've got the lungwort down here. I don't think I said, but it does want partial shade, mostly shade. This is the zones 4 through 8. I'm in a zone 9. So it is somewhere where it's getting just dappled sun. As you can see, just a little tiny bit of sun, not much. And that is all this plant is gonna get here. I don't want this thing to get too much sun at all. I really want it to get as much protection as possible. And then it will get tons of water because the fountain will overflow and let water splash. So this is a woodland plant. I didn't fertilize it. Most woodland plants want soil that's a little more acidic. Our soil is not very acidic. It's very neutral. And I don't have an acidic fertilizer. And like I said, I've never grown this before, so I didn't want to fertilize it. and be wrong with the fertilizer that I was using. So I just opted not to, especially because all of this right here, if you remember, this was all dug down and this is all brand new fresh compost in here. So the soil that's in here is like very, very rich, very healthy. So I just didn't want it to shock these plants too much. So with the tag saying partial sun, I just am gonna assume that we're gonna pretty much keep it in shade, especially my area, and dappled is the absolute most that it's gonna get. It's funny because the back of the tag says something about being a perfect pair for hostas, and it's not wrong. They look so good together. I really love how that combination looks. Like I said, 2 feet wide, 1 feet tall, growing zones 4 through 8. And this really is like a shade plant or an understory plant, something that really wants some protection. So I can't wait to see this really fill out. I think that's gonna look absolutely amazing right there. Maybe I'll get my hands on a couple more, continue this drift, kind of like tuck them back here. And you know, maybe if I picked up 3 more, like 1, 2, 3 or something like that, maybe 2 more there. That might be a little too much sun. I don't know. We're gonna keep our eyes on it. Either way, I'm happy with how this area is coming together. It is all looking so good over here. Just lots of like foliar color and bright foliar color. It's just really happy, really exciting. So we're gonna call that a productive day. Very happy with how it looks. I got those calla lilies pulled out. It's hot out now. It's like 90 degrees currently. Brent is done with what he's doing for the fence today. He was gonna paint it. I told him he needs to be done. He was just too much. He was working too hard in this heat, and it's just not safe. So I told him that he needs to be done for the day. He's inside chilling. Let me show you guys the fence, and then we will say goodbye. So Brent is a very fast worker. I am not a very fast worker. Yeah, I don't move at the speeds that he moves. He just like, he can sweat and it doesn't bother him and he can just get things done. So he got, in the last like couple days, over the weekend, I think it was like 4 days, he got from there, tore down, all the way to there, tore down, concrete post sunk, and fence boards up. So this would have taken me like 10 years. I hate it. He's going to paint, and he said that he's going to take care of that. And this area is really going to be super easy because there's really not too many plants right up against the fence. The anemones look like they're right up against it, but there's actually quite a gap. See, so there's room. So he's going to spray all of this. And then we did bring the fence up so it's a little bit taller. And so we put a board down here just to like fill that gap. So here we go. So fence is looking good. Here's our pile. And all we have left to do now is that little bit. I think we're hoping in the next couple weeks to get that done. Maybe this might take a little bit longer because we haven't even talked to the neighbor yet. So we'll have to let the neighbor know that we want to tear all of this down and continue on with the fence. But once that happens, we're going to extend the flower bed, and I'm going to take all of this, and all of this right here will be gone and become flower bed. It'll be so exciting. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna go inside now. I'm under the umbrella. It feels really nice to be in the shade. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.